Right. Let's put this fucking jug together, shall we? Right. There we go. Huh? Well, I think we did it, but some of the pieces are missing. Yeah, I got that far in 2 minutes myself. Problem is finishing it. Were some pieces stolen? I bet they were missing to begin with. Still, doesn't look like the most stable kind of jar. I kind of understand how it got broken. Unstable jar. Piece back together from fragments found at the crime scene. A piece is missing. Hey pal, look at the time. Was there something you needed to be going to? It's just that Mr. Edgeworth Inquiry Committee should be letting out soon. I'm going to go give him my report for the day. It might help you, you know. Report? You mean the note written on the back of that flyer? The one that says nothing but no problems? Hey, it's Mr. Edgeworth we're talking about. I'm sure he could use a report like this. I believe in him. Who needs enemies when you have friends like Gumshoe? I'm off, pal. Later. I should probably see what Edgeworth has to say too. Hey look, they're hard to make out, but there's some red stains here. Looks like blood. Do you think Detective Goldman's blood somehow got on this when he was stabbed? Not likely. This blood looks like it's been here for months, maybe longer. The jar was evidence in SL9. That might be when the blood got on it. Huh? This thing doesn't have a bottom. That's weird. I wonder which side is up. Better yet, what's the purpose of a bottomless jar? At least it doesn't collect dust inside, right? The tag says SL911. I guess this is another piece of evidence from that case. You know, I never did care for the word tag. It's confusing. Huh? What's so confusing about it? You know how many other words sound like it? Bag, gag, nag, lag, zag. Zag? Is that a word? Do you challenge me? What, are we playing a word game now? Probably not. Alright, Edgeworth. The bellboy? Oh, yes, my apologies. Oh, it's you. Have we met somewhere? Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, I beg your leave so long. Is Edgeworth here? There, standing by the window, a teacup in his hand. There we go. Right. He has the hotel bringing him tea service? Mr. Edgeworth, you're back from the district prosecutor's office inquiry. I am. By the way, Detective Gumshoe was looking for you. Oh, Detective Gumshoe was looking for you. Oh yes, he brought me the latest information, he seems. Really? Was it helpful? Apparently, a new French restaurant is opening near here. I think he was trying to console me somehow. The real info is on the other side, Edgeworth. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. I think this whole thing's really taking a toll on him. So how'd the inquiry committee go? Actually, they decided not to treat this as a case of concealing evidence, but as a communications error due to the investigation. Concealing evidence? Yes, apparently there was some who believe that I concealed evidence. They gave me a warning. You were lucky this time. Again. Again? I've heard them say that so many times. Ever since that case 2 years ago. Are you okay for the trial tomorrow? Well, I'm still the presiding prosecuting attorney. However, something happened. They gave control of the investigation over the police department. The police department? Yes, any further investigation for this case will be directed by the Chief of Police, Gant. I can't do anything but wait for his results. I see. Why, I ask you, why? All along I've done only what I believe is right. I have nothing to be ashamed of. But still... Wow, I've never seen him this out of sorts. Right, please, I'm the prosecutor on this case. You don't expect me to sit here and discuss the case with you over a cup of tea. I'll pass on the tea, just tell me about the case. Mr. Wright, Mr. Edgeworth told you no in a very polite manner. Whose side are you on, anyway? Maybe if I just show him my best evidence, I can get some reaction out of him. This. I need to explain this. Right, I better check this now.
As I was saying, What's this? A record of ID card usage.
Edgeworth, you went to the evidence room that day, didn't you? Just before the incident occurred, no less.
Yes, that's true.
Why, Mr. Edgeworth?
Please don't look at me like that. I was asked to go by Chief Gant, no less.
The Chief of Police?
He wanted evidence for a case wrapped up half a year ago. He told me he wanted me to keep it in here at the prosecutor's office.
But it was solved, right? It would have to go... It would have to be if the evidence was already filed.
The Chief is never one to explain himself. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I bought this back here.
Can I ask what kind of case it was?
I can't say. It really has nothing to do with the current case.
Now I'm curious about this other case. I better make a note of it. Evidence from a past case of Edgeworth's brought back to his office by Gant's request. I reckon that was done to make sure his car was here.
Stubborn as always. I told you, this has nothing to do with the current case.
Okay. Check. The tag says AI-16. What's that got to do with anything? Nothing, apparently. At least that's what Edgeworth said. That makes it seem all the more suspicious. Who knows, this might turn out to be the clue that breaks the case. Wouldn't that be nice? Here we go. Oh, shite, that's... Oh... There's no fucking... Oh. Right. Try it again. I know you. You've probably got a hold of some information already, right? It all has to do with the case that you were on, the SR9 incident, and some dark suspicion you were wrapped up in.
You're the man who revived the worst memory of my life. I figured I'd be telling you about this sooner or later.
You must be talking about his father's murder in the elevator. Okay, Edgeworth, why don't you tell me about it? Tell me the truth.
The SL9 incident was a heinous serial killing case. The head of the investigation was the Deputy Chief of Police at the time, Damon Gant.
That wacky old coot was involved in the case 2 years ago too, then.
He was a top officer, and was my first time working with him. I was nervous.
Wow, you get nervous too, Mr. Edgeworth? What I want to know is, why was the Deputy Chief of Police on an investigation?
In truth, I used slightly more extreme methods than normal. We were dealing with a vicious murderer. If I let him go, the blood would be on my hands. We won our guilty verdict and the killer was executed.
Wait, you didn't?
Of course not. I didn't touch the evidence. Yes, I will do anything in my power to win a trial. However, I do have a code and I follow it faithfully. Oh, excuse me. By the way, Emma, the chief prosecutor wanted to know something.
My sister? What?
if you were still studying forensic science.
Huh? Yes, of course. Why, just today Mr. Wright and I were using this.
Luminol testing fluid. Well then, you might have use for this.
Aluminium powder for taking fingerprints.
It's been chemically treated for better adhesion.
For me? Are you sure? We're the enemy, you know.
I have no say in today's investigation. Do as you will.
Edgeworth, I'm really...
No need to thank me. Here, take your powder and these fingerprint files for everyone involved.
Thanks. How about giving these to Detective Gumshoe as well? Recovers fingerprints from handprints for comparison with a fingerprint file. Well, let's get going. One last investigation. Right. I do seem to remember seeing a suspicious handprint somewhere. Oh, she's gone. Our investigation turned up a suspicious handprint. Here in the blood in the detective's evidence locker. Let's use the secret weapon we just borrowed. Can I examine it too? Right, let's get started. First, choose a finger. A finger? Each finger leaves behind a slightly different imprint. So let's choose the finger that will leave behind the clearest print. I really can't tell the difference at a glance. Quit procrastinating and choose a finger. Okay, now it's time to check the prints. Let me show you how it's done. Emma's starting to get that sparkle in her eyes. First we sprinkle aluminium powder around. Huh? How do you do that? With the X button, see? Ah, it looks like that did the trick. The aluminium powder adheres completely to the print. Once the powder is well spread, just blow away the excess. Huh? How do I do that? With the triangle button. Exciting, I know. You can tell this used to be on the DS, didn't you? Imagine you're blowing out the candles on a birthday cake. Wow, that looks fun. It might take some getting used to, though. It's fine. It won't go up your nose or anything. Just pour the powder on thick and blow away the extra. Those are the basics of fingerprinting, Mr. Wright. Guess I better give it a try. Ah, you did it! You found one! But this looks nothing like a fingerprint. Now that you mention it, I guess it doesn't. What does it mean? I think it means we're out of luck. Out of luck? The person who left this handprint must have worn gloves. Don't tell me we've been wasting our time here. Hey, calm down. That's just the way it goes sometimes with scientific investigation. But it does seem like a shame. While we're at it, why don't we look out for other prints? Other prints? Look at the lacquer door again closely. Yeah, I see it. It does seem like there are fingerprints outside the bloody handprint as well. Let's see if we can find a clear print. Fingerprints outside the blood. Yep, right here. Oh, come on. There we go. Ah, print's so clear it's dazzling. Dazzling? Anyway, this print took a lot of effort to find. Let's match it up right away. So we're not done yet. This is quite a process. Well, there's no point in finding the fingerprint and not knowing who the owner is, right? I guess she's right. Look at the fingerprint data we got from Mr. Edgeworth and point to the person who you think left these prints. How am I supposed to know who it was? Well, I could make a pretty good guess. The bloody handprints and the fingerprints are in different places, right? That means the prints probably don't have anything to do with our case. So whose fingerprints will we most likely find on this evidence lacquer? Aha! So the prints belong to Detective Gumshoe. You don't fucking say. It's his locker! Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You gave me this so what look. I guess it's probably because I was thinking so what. Okay, so we get away nothing this time, but there's always next time. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. You gotta roll with the punches, Mr. Wright. Thanks for the sympathy. Wait, if I remember correctly, there was one other handprint in this room. Let's check it out. Thank you. This is where we got a luminol fluid reaction, right? Right, there was a handprint there. Okay, wanna try using this? There go her eyes sparkling again. Okay, let's check for prints. That's the spirit! Oh, but I have to warn you about something first. What? The area where the blood was wiped away, right? We only ended up finding it using chemical means. Any prints in that area would have been wiped away too. Oh, right. So that means no prints. Would you say the probability of your hypothesis is high? Don't ask me. Anyway, we must try and find prints that weren't wiped away. Prints other than ones left by the bloody hand. Well, I'm scanning, but I'm not seeing. Ah. If there was a mark there, I couldn't see it. Right. I gave it my best shot. That kind of result wouldn't be any good for matching prints, would it? But it doesn't look like we'll get a clear result from this print. Okay, let's try a different finger then. Oh! The fingers of the hand that weren't bloody. Of course. Idiot. Ah, there we go. Ah, it's Marshall's. Hey, these fingerprints, whose are they? Who? Is it someone I know? It's Officer Marshall. Huh? Officer Jake Marshall? Found on a bloody handprint left in the evidence room. The print has been wiped. That's gotta be a coincidence. He's not involved in the crime. Emma, this is decidedly different from Detective Gumshoe's prints. The luminol reaction, the blood and fingerprints are in the same place. Oh. So we have Jake Marshall's fingerprints on a white blood stain. But why would Officer Marshall? It looks like our investigation's finally turning up some results. I guess this is what you'd call decisive evidence. I don't believe it. Oh, Emma. Glad to see the back of that part of the game. But these new trials are still bloody difficult too. So what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all, the victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time. And a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes. Alana! Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologise for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So how'd it go? It's as Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? We agreed if I told them the truth behind the simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. But Lana, don't tell me you... Much to my regret. I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. Miss Skye. We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belong to Officer Jake Marshall. What kind of trace evidence? Blood-stained fingerprints, to be exact. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall? We have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Skye? Do what you have to, Mr. Wright.
Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye.
The defence is ready, Your Honour.
The prosecution is... I'm afraid you'll have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain in both places at the same time. But that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared.
Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Wow, this is one messed up trial.
One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today I will present evidence relating to the murder of the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself.
Now that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things. Even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. And that's supposed to be an admirable trait.
Very well, let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your witness of today to the stand. For his first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer?
Oh boy. Things are getting wild from the get-go. It's Lee Evans again.
Will the witness please state his name and occupation?
Yes, sir. I'm Officer Mike Meekins, sir. My occupation is, well, that would be murderer, sir.
So telling us you're a professional killer?
Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You can't believe me, sir.
Actually, what we'd like to...
Sir, I'm what you would call part of the younger generation, sir. A person whose actions and odds can't possibly comprehend.
Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me, sir. Officer Meekins.
Yes, sir.
Give us your report of the crime. Consider that an order.
Yes, sir, as you wish. After all, I'm part of the generation that must be taught what to do, sir. You can't fault him for his lack of enthusiasm. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man in the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life, and then I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake.
So the victim detective Goodman attacked you?
Do unto others before they do unto you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir.
I see. Then you fainted and a colleague helped you regain consciousness.
Yes, sir. Knocked me upside the head, sir.
Very well. The defence may begin its cross-examination.
What I need here is more info to work with. Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir. I'm in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. Yikes, now there's a scary thought.
Evidence transfer was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed.
I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir.
The Blue Badger?
Yes, sir. The lovely police mascot crafted by the Chief of Detectives, sir. Oh no, why are you playing it? I was too sure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir.
I see. Sounds like a very important mission.
After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around. I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room.
Oh, that's why you were sent to the evidence room. Tell us, what did you see when you got there?
Suspicious man on the security screen. In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card. Am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one here around my neck. So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right? There it is, I found it. It's this one right here.
Can you please read us the number?
Yes, sir. It's 498-5896. That's my number, sir. Thought it was. I see, huh? But the number is shown being used twice.
Please explain, witness.
It's no real mystery, sir. The first time was when I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room, and the second time was when I went to get him after everything settled down.
I see, so it was during the second time when...
Yes, sir, that's when I spotted the man on the security screen. I'm gonna do what I was trying to do. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you?
It was a knife, sir, a knife.
Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you. What happened then?
Well, with me charging in on him, like that, he looked as surprised as I was.
You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into.
That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand.
Maybe if you just kept your cool, your hand wouldn't be... Okay, must have read that weirdly.
When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar.
That's why the coat's covered in blood.
I fought for my life, and then I did.
What exactly do you mean when you say you did it?
I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. A man let his guard down for just an instant, and so I snatched the knife from him.
You took his knife?
I spun him round and performed a disarming manoeuvre. I made sure to close my eyes like a man.
I see. He must have been desperate.
The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood, and then the next thing I knew...
Yes?
He punched me right in my face, sir. After that, I passed out and another officer smacked me awake.
About what time did you regain consciousness?
No offence, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious.
Oh, right.
According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30. Hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying tears of pain.
That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you recovered, that is.
When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir.
Your mission?
Yes, sir, the blue badger, sir. I returned it to the entrance before things got out of hand.
Well, we can all rest easy now.
I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Yes, Your Honour. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim?
He's got a point.
Yes, Officer Meekins. With regard to that, sir, take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. Chief Gadd delivered it to me just this morning, sir.
Chief? Delivered it?
What is that, a videotape? Yes, sir. That's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room.
What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape and was told it had been mistakenly erased.
That's quite a mistake. I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at.
Looks like the communication with the police department is as good as ever.
Well then, let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim.
What a sentence. Show us the video of you murdering the victim.
Oh, please stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me.
A video of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into? Oh God, I'd remember this. This was a pain in the fucking arse to do. Okay, at no point can you tell that that's Goodman. Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us?
What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood?
Sir, that is the pride and joy of the entire Criminal Affairs Department, sir. It's the Blue Badger, sir.
Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? Yes, well, anyway, this tape seems to prove the witness did indeed encounter someone in the evidence room, and some sort of activity took place.
Your Honour, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that all right with you, Officer Meekings?
Yes, sir, as you wish, sir. His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do so. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. It must be him. No one else could have unlocked it.
What's this about a fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to.
Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have had to have been Detective Goodman. Very well, the defence may begin its cross-examination. I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. Tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? The face of the man who attacked you with a knife?
Sir, if you must label people as having seen or not seen the man's face, I believe it would be classified as the latter.
The latter? You were standing right in front of him, were you not? More to the point, you're the person who fought him, aren't you?
Oh yes, sir, but I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir. I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people when they're talking with them, you see.
Yes, that's a good trait for a police officer.
Still, I'm sure it was him. I bet my badge on it.
But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face.
Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, if you must label people as having seen or not seen it.
Since his face can't be identified in the video, only you can verify it.
Why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label you stares as disturbing...
Meekings! Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Now please be more certain when you testify.
Yes, sir.
You claim the man who brandished the knife on you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us why you're positive it's him.
Open the locker which required Goodman's fingerprint. About those lockers, is there no other way to open them?
No, sir. I myself tried all kinds of methods in the past. They only respond to registered fingerprints, sir.
I wonder what kinds of methods he's tried. If the man opened the locker's lock, which only responds to its registered fingerprints, then he must be the person the locker was assigned to.
Exactly my point, sir. And this too.
The opener is unquestionably Detective Goodman's. How do you know that information?
I've heard rumours, sir, from people in the know, sir.
People in the know?
The workers in the department cafeteria, sir. They keep me informed. They also listen to my romantic troubles, sir.
For the record, the opened locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information for a more reliable source.
So the victim opened the locker with his own fingerprint. Must be him, no one else could have unlocked it. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video, the man's face.
Sir, if I may say something, sir,
Please do, after all, you're the one being examined.
I don't understand why the man's face is important in the case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock, and it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. My yourself state can be testified enough to this, sir.
Indeed, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie. That is, unless the defence can find a problem with it.
Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again.
Is there a problem with the security video? Well, there must be, otherwise I don't go nowhere. Regarding the video contained on this tape, there's one thing in particular that seems rather strange.
Strange?
This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman.
What? The video contains such a contradiction? Interesting. Your Honour, I have a proposal. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? I propose we have the defence point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video.
He would want me to point it out.
Very well, proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of.
I have to point out a problem in the video. This is the first time I've ever had to do that.
You can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching the video.
Neither can I. That Blue Badger music gets on my fucking tits. How did this guy ever become a police officer?
Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman?
I think it's this. The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this.
Yes, that is strange. Something certainly seems unnatural about that. What could it mean? Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Wright, but you seem to have forgotten the point of this exercise.
The point?
What you're looking for is one thing and one thing only. Something that indicates this man may not be Detective Goodman.
Oh, yeah.
I almost walked right into the defence's trap.
I'll place him under arrest, sir.
Rats. I need to slow down and tackle these things one piece at a time. Now what do I do? Oh, God.
Just remember one thing, Mr. Wright. Every time you point your finger, someone gets hurt.
Says the one pointing his finger at us.
I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us the contradiction you speak of.
The lock light. Officer Meekins.
Sir, you mean me, sir?
I don't understand. The locker apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint if it's a match. The light turns on and the lock is released.
According to my very limited experience, that is the way I understand it, sir.
If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. When the victim reaches the handle to open the locker, let's rewind a little earlier. Oh my god! Here, notice the light?
What's this? It's already lit!
Precisely my point, Your Honour. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. Ah!
Order! Order! What's the meaning of this?
It's very simple, Your Honour. The locker wasn't locked the day of the crime.
But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered, and that locker is automatically locked. I know, it must have broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this. That's not likely, Your Honour. The sensor would detect and report a malfunction. Oh well, just goes to show novices should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation?
Me, Your Honour?
Yes, why wasn't the locker locked?
Me, Your Honour? Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Huh? Oh, maybe something like jam the system sensor? Something jam the sensor? Say, there's something else that seems out of place in this video. Yeah, I thought so too. There's got to be another clue somewhere in this footage. Very well, let's inspect the video once more. Fuck that. I'm done. I'm out. Bye fucking bye. See you in the next one. Fuck the blue badger.